Coming up in the news, with the advance poll complete, the countdown is now on to the general elections. Meanwhile, Cable Bahamas making changes to its television packages. And the Red Cross reporting progress. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Jamila Mizik. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news this evening, high turnout reported in yesterday's advance poll here on Grants Bahama. While we haven't been provided with the exact figures, observers say the long lines throughout the day were definite indicators of the level of interest. The advance polls is the first step in the election process. 3,521 persons were eligible to cast ballots in the early poll in the 5 constituencies on Grants Bahama. Meantime, it's less than a week before the general elections. There are 33 candidates on the ballot here in Grants Bahama. The voters register per constituency looks like this. Marco City, 6,287 voters. Pine Ridge, 5,670. West End and Bimini, 5,700, Central Grants Bahama 6,810, and East Grants Bahama 6,561. In Abaco, voters are able to vote in 2 constituencies. In South and Central Abaco, there are 4 candidates and 3,295 eligible voters, while in North Abaco, there are 5,106 voters and 5 candidates vying for that parliamentary seat. General elections will be held throughout the country next Thursday, September 16th. The polls will open at 8 a.m. and close at 6 p.m. Meantime, a September 7th proclamation by Prime Minister the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis providing a National Day of Prayer the day before Election Day, September 15th. Organized by Bahamas 242 Travail, the Day of Prayer is being described as a virtual, independent, and denominational social gathering. Prayers for the nation will be lifted at 6 p.m. next week, Wednesday, on Facebook at 242 Travail or via Zoom. In other news, an industry leader in cable and internet service recently made some changes to their television packages. Some customers say the changes are unfair and unexpected. We reached out to an executive member of Cable Bahamas to get the details as to what went into the decision to implement the changes at this particular time. Jay Philippe has more.
Effective September 1st, 2021, Cable Bahamas, which is a technological advanced broadband provider that provides cable television throughout the country, has made some changes to their packages. According to Dominic Petty, General Manager of the Northern Bahamas, the changes were a strategic transition that now offers its customers nationwide the flexibility to choose their preferred channels.
Right now it's set up where it's just the basic package that you get, and if you do want a kids package, you can get the kids package. If you want a news lineup package, you can get the news lineup package. If you want a channel of lifestyle, or you just want sports, you can get those channels without having to go through several different packages in order to be able to achieve that.
Petty says the decision to implement the new packages this month has been something that the company has been discussing for some time now.
Changes of this magnitude would have to be brought before ERCA, and so it has been brought before ERCA. ERCA had certain mandates, particularly from a marketing standpoint. You have to alert the public so much time in advance, which we have done. But what's really behind it is just really to simplify everything. I think it was a bit convoluted previously. As I mentioned, sometimes customers only want 1 or 2 channels. And in order to get certain channels, you would have had to go through several loopholes in order to get it as far as the packaging is concerned. Today, that's not the case. Once you have the basic, you can add on, whatever channels that you want, and all channels are packaged together.
The general manager confirmed that alerts were disseminated to their valued customers across multiple forms of communication methods, as they customary do.
We did send out SMS. We did send out emails to customers. I receive emails regarding the package changes, as well as digital flyers that were sent out. But when you're dealing with such a large customer base, you're bound to have a certain percentage that may not receive the message.
Petty adds, while the changes at this time may require some adjustment, he's urging Cable Bahamas customers to use their various customer service platforms to help navigate with the new changes.
I would encourage them to go on our website. It's a very simple website, www.rev.ps. They may want to know how to make changes to their existing plan so they can kind of realize some savings. I would encourage them to reach out to our contact center, which is 601-2200, or they could email us at imagine, that's IMAGINE, at cablebahamas.com.
I'm Jay Philippe, ZNS Network News.
In other news, officials from the Bahamas Red Cross Society providing an update on how they've been operating in the wake of Hurricane Dorian. The administrator says although they've lost much, they've gained even more. Here is Ramiko Knowles.
Hurricane Dorian, the monster storm that has left mass devastation in its wake, dealt a major blow to the economy of Grand Bahama. But the administrator of the Bahamas Red Cross Grand Bahama Center, Stephanie Barr, says the storm was a blessing.
Dorian was good and bad, and for us it was good because the Canadian Red Cross, the International Federation, and the American Red Cross came together, and here behind me is what you see, a brand new building is now being constructed.
The society has been operating in a temporary facility until the construction of their new building is completed, but Barr says the operation has been functioning rather smoothly.
We have our Meals on Wheels program, daily and monthly, that we run. We have first aid that we run, so it hasn't been we haven't been affected. We are running all of our programs like we've done in the past.
As it relates to the new building, Chairman of the Bahamas Red Cross Grand Bahama Center, Rinaldi Forbes, says they are hoping for it to be completed by December of this year.
I mean, there have been some challenges with weather and a few setbacks, but according to the contractor, we hope to really get back on course and pick up some areas and so forth. So we do hope to get back on track to be completed by the date of December.
The previous building was constructed in the 1960s, and Forbes boasts of the new upgrades.
It has a warehouse that we could actually do storage because previously, whenever we found out that when we had any disaster and so forth, stuff had to be sent in, and that set us back quite a bit. So hopefully with a warehouse and storage, that should put us ahead of the game in terms of being prepared for much more in terms of disaster of any sort, and also to keep items such as food, supplies, and other items in terms of so as to respond just locally and so forth.
Now, members of the society are also hoping that with some additional funding, they would be able to add on an all-purpose center to be used as a shelter. Ramiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
Immigration officers are now into day 2 of an apparent sick-out on Grand Bahama, Bimini, and other islands. Union officials telling our ZNS News team that officers are fed up with a number of issues within the department. Megan Shepard has the details.
Hundreds of immigration officers throughout the country simultaneously calling in sick. Vice President of the Bahamas Customs, Immigration and Allied Workers Union, Duran Brooks, says that officers are mentally, physically, and emotionally tired as it relates to several matters in the workplace.
Working conditions, lack of a proper detention facility for COVID positive detainees, and of course, lack of promotion exercises. The last major exercise that the Immigration Department had was in 2015, and prior to that was in 2008. So those promotion exercises are kind of few and far apart by comparison. There are several squads with a number of their own unique issues.
Now, while the union did not officially initiate the action by officers, Brooks says that the union fully supports this move. He explains what he believes is the major issue within the organization.
The Controller of Customs would have submitted her promotion list after she would have assumed office in 2017. So by 2018, she would have had a list submitted to public service, and our director was contracted in 2017. So we were of the opinion that he would have had three years to do this, and for whatever reason, we believe that after our press conference on February 1st of this year, that after pressure from the union, that would have been the majority of the reason why they even attempted to submit a list. And the list was flawed for the most part. And as it stands now, the officers have seen other law enforcement agencies have promotion exercise after promotion exercise, and they're feeling neglected and left out.
Brooks adds that due to the sick-out, he understands that no applications were processed in Grand Bahama, nor was any money collected by immigration, as entire departments were left empty.
Yesterday at 9 a.m., around 9 a.m., there were only 2 junior officers at the Lyndon Pinnon International Airport. There were 2 senior officers at the Freeport or the Grand Bahama International Airport. There was a skeleton crew at the Freeport Harbor and at Prince George Dock. There was nobody, none of the junior ranks at the Freeport headquarters, and likewise there was a skeleton crew at Hawkins Hill and Nassau. The detention facility was operating with a skeleton crew as well. So for the most part, you're looking at least 500 officers throughout the length and breadth of the country would not have reported for duty, because yesterday in Bimini only 3 immigration officers reported for duty.
And as to how long the action by officers will continue?
They were only going to go for 2 days, but they've reached the point now that they're saying to us that they don't care anymore. They may stay out a little bit longer. That's what I was told. I don't know what they're going to do. They only release the information daily. They just say what they're going to do. So listening to them talk, some are saying that they don't care anymore, that they may stay out longer.
Megan Shepard, 7S Network News.
Now, we were unable to reach immigration officials for an official comment on the sick-out. In other news, 60 new COVID-19 cases reported in yesterday's Ministry of Health dashboard. 52 of those cases are on New Providence, 5 in Grand Bahama, 2 in Abaco, and 1 in Eleuthera. 31 of those cases are male and 29 are female. 188 persons are hospitalized nationally, 26 here on Grand Bahama, inclusive of 4 persons in the intensive care unit. The death toll is at 453, with 19 under investigation. Meantime, 1 male arrested for possession of an unlicensed firearm. Reports are that shortly after 6 p.m. yesterday, officers from the Drug Enforcement Unit acting on intelligence stopped by a white Chevy Cobalt vehicle traveling south on Cathy Road with 1 male occupant to the rear of Chesapeake Subdivision. A search of the vehicle was conducted where a black Taurus .9mm pistol with 1 empty magazine was found. An adult male of Brigg Lane, Lincoln Park Subdivision was arrested and is assisting with this investigation. You're watching the Northern Edition. Stay with us.